My friends? Wow, my voice. Um, Sorry for the long absence. Uh, it's embarrassing. It's been over 2 weeks since this update's released, and this is my first video on it. But that was kind of out of my hands. I did have videos, recorded, I think, the day after the update launched, and they were set to go out that week, but the audio files were just messed up. And then I got sick, and my voice sounded horrible. Just awful. And none of you want to hear that. So I just wasn't able to record. 2 weeks, and I'm only at tier 8 on the new line. I know it's horrible. But there's a very special reason for that. And that is that this tank, the T-34-2, the newest, just can't speak apparently, tier 8 tank in the game, sucks. It just sucks. This 100mm is, you don't, yeah, you have, I believe, 150 less DPM than the tier 7 in this line, with 1 degree less gun depression. You are slightly faster, kind of, that because of power weight ratio. You are a bigger target, and your armor is less effective. Thanks, Wargaming. Make a tier 8 in a line worse than its tier 7 predecessor. Because that's how things work. Usually in Blitz, what's a good example? Not this tech tree. You usually not. I know nations. Yes. A good example. You go from a KV1 to a KV1S. You get a much bigger gun. You get more health. You get kind of less armor. But then you carry on the trend of the big gun, and you go to tier 7 with the IS, and you get more DPM, better penetration. Actually, I'm not sure about that. More health, you're a bigger tank, and your armor is better-ish. You aren't going to get AG'd from the front like this thing can be by this thing. Then you jump up a tier and you get the IS-3. Probably, arguably, the most popular tier 8 heavy tank in the game. It's just super common. A lot of people play it because, well, the tier 10 on the line is amazing. But yeah, you get more penetration, better DPM, better accuracy, better health, and a better armor profile. You move up a tier to tier 9 to the IS-8. You get higher alpha. That's crazy. This thing has the only 122mm gun that has more than 400 alpha, except for it shares with this tank and this tank and this tank. But yeah, and this tank, right? I think so. I'm digress. You get more health, you get more speed, you get less armor. Well, not necessarily, it's just less effective armor. What else? More health, better speed, less effective armor, better DPM, better alpha, better accuracy, better penetration. Then you move up to tier 10 with the IS-7. You get massively better armor, you get more health, you get better DPM, slightly, better alpha, I think better penetration? I can't remember. Yeah. So that's how normal tech trees go, not the Chinese. Typically, not typically, what am I saying? That's mostly because you go from a French tank. This is a Renault FT, which is, yeah, this tank. They don't look that similar, but believe me, they're the same. And then this is the VAE Type B, which stands for Vickers Mark E Type B, is just a T26 with a British pom-pom. And then you got this thing is infuriating that Wargaming can't think of tanks. I mean, it is historically accurate. The Chinese army at this time China was occupied by Japan in some parts, so I suppose they would be using these tanks, if they actually exist, I can't remember. This is an exact copy of the Chiha from this tech tree. This is a American tank. I guess by now the Chinese had gotten American help to fight the Japanese, historically. This is an M5 Stuart with a better gun, much better gun. Then you have a Type T-34, which is a worse T-34. How do you make a tank that's almost exactly identical worse? because reasons. And then you have a T-34-5 clone, and I like the Type 58, but that's probably just because it's a T-34-5 clone. Then you go into this tank, which is kind of unique. It is still based on the T-34-85 hull, if I remember correctly, but it's got a different design. The turret is drastically different and has a bigger gun, better deep. I don't know if it's actually better DPM, but whatever. And then you move on to this tank. You get less DPM, 300 more health, slightly better power ratio, less gun depression. Yeah, and then you move on to this tank. Now, depending on which gun you use on it, this you actually get DPM increase. This you don't. Yeah, but you get a penetration increase. Oh yeah, you get a health increase. I don't know if the speed changes. I'm having troubles. And then you move up to the tier 10, which has the worst DPM and the worst accuracy of any tier 10 medium tank in the game. It's not particularly speedy. Gun depression is non-existent, though. But yeah, this tech tree is a bit weird, to say the least. Because normally you get like a 5 to 10% increase in stats overall from tier to tier. This one, it's all over the place. But enough. Yeah. Enough ranting. I can't stand this tank. I lost my first, how many games? 6 in it? Yeah, I average 1600 damage in it. You want to know how much I average in the tier 7? Where is it? I've got a lot of tanks. Right there. Just shy of 2000. That is unacceptable. I should obviously be averaging more per tier, so I'd get like a 10% increase in average stats. Of course, it depends on how you play it. But yeah, it's just not a fun tank to play. It's a bad Type 59 knockoff. The Type 59 is not exactly overpowered in a lot of ways. It's not exactly epic and amazing and nothing could hurt it and it can just hurt pen and everything. No, it's not like that. Somehow they managed to make a tank that takes this thing and makes it like 50% worse. I don't understand. But yeah, that's my rant done. Let's play some games. And because my editing software sucks, I've been trying to, if in case you have noticed, make all my videos in one take. So this should be interesting. Also, to make up for the fact that I have not been able to, well, I haven't released videos in 2.5 weeks. Wow, that voice crack. What a voice crack. I will be releasing a video every day next week. Oh, next week when I'm recording. I'm actually recording this video 4 days before you see it. And then I'm probably going to record at least one more tonight. Because I've got to go to bed earlier than usual. And then I'll try to upload them while I'm working tomorrow. But we are on, what's this map called? Himmelsdorf, and we just capped one base with, yeah, no problems there. And we are trying to flank. Wow. Another thing, I don't have this 100% crew, I will admit to that, but I have looked on websites that you can see the stats of these tanks on, and even with 100% crew and all that, it's still worse than T-34-1. And I don't like that. I like my tanks to have a fairly linear progression, and this one feels like it would be decent at tier 7, which is a bad thing for a tier 8 tank to feel like. Of course, there are tier 9 tanks that I can name that feel like they would be pretty good at tier 8. Most notably the MBT-70. That tank, oh, that tank, the MBT-70, man. We're gonna pick on tank we can actually pen without using Pramo and is actually high tier. And we're gonna back off this hill because reasons. And then we're gonna run away because, yeah. That is an IS-3. Oh boy, that's a Tiger 1 shooting at us. And we didn't even scratch him. Ram. Ooh. Look at the rate of fire on this thing. It just feels so slow. You bounced. You could have killed that guy. Now it's just not 3 tier 8s, 2 tier 8s, and a tier 7. Okay. I don't want to hang around. Also, that stupid... that one went right through. Does no damage. You know, it'd be hilarious if I recorded this without the mic. Let's hope that I didn't make that mistake. I did that once. I don't even remember why I didn't have the mic turned on, but I didn't, and I did that, and it was embarrassing and stupid and frustrating, and I was so mad. Oh! I have 280 alpha. I roll for 226 with AP, leaving him on 1 health. Oh, that's stupid. RNG sucks. Seriously. Recently, they reduced the amount your penetration can vary from 25% plus minus penetration rolls to 15%. I don't know if they should do the same with alpha, because sometimes when I play my Death Star, I like seeing those 1600 damage rolls. Of course, sometimes it just doesn't happen, and you get 700 rolls. But yeah, that was a decent game. 2 kills apiece, yeah, for us 3 that survived. Yeah. Just in case any of you don't realize that penetration has RNG rolls to it, well, congratulations, I now kind of helped you. Let's see. We're gonna play one more battle, because, yeah, that game actually was one of the better ones I played in this tank. It's kind of embarrassing, but it is what it is. I don't like this tank, and this tank doesn't like me. We are on mines now. Map you actually can't get supremacy on. Can we fix... I don't even know what you meant by that, but okay. Can we fix it? That just brought Bob the Builder to mind, and that is probably what he meant to do. I haven't watched that show since I honestly don't remember. Probably over a decade. Well, definitely over a decade. But you know, I haven't even lived 2 decades. No, not yet. Almost. Another 2 years. Yeah. Age reveal. Oh, Helsing missed half of his clip. Beautiful. Why would you have the side of a Yegg Panther and you shoot HE and you fail to penetrate? I know I shouldn't be poking out like that, but the gun depression on this tank, I think it's worse over the front. I'm not entirely sure, but it doesn't really matter with gun depression this bad. So, yeah. Kind of sucks. Kind of is whatever. I have a lot of experience playing tanks without any gun depression, however. I mean, I've 32,000 games. I can manage. I have played a lot of them in Soviet tanks. These are the worst Soviet tanks. The WZ-120 isn't bad from what I've heard if you use the 100. If you use the 120 on it, yeah, I wouldn't advise that. However, T-34 is still better because Soviet bias. That's a T-32 and a VK. I can't get my gun down on them. That is so frustrating. In American tanks, I could use my 10 degrees of gun depression that comes pretty standard on most of the higher tier ones, and just, abuse that. I do play my super Pershing quite a bit, and that's usually to grant credits, and that thing's 10 degrees, better penetration than the normal Pershing, and better armor. Yeah, it really is a super Pershing. It used to be that the penetration was so lackluster, you had to use Premo a lot more and stuff like that. But yeah, it's actually a super Pershing now. Not just a worse version with worse gun with better armor on the whole. I mean, the armor is not super amazing. Anybody with a grain of salt, anybody with a grain of salt, anyone who knows anything about the game knows where to pen a super Pershing. And if you don't, if the lower hull is angled up at you and you have, I believe, 200 millimeters penetration or more, it's a lull pen. If it's not, the smart thing to do is to shoot the. I should go and show you the turret. This is really digressing from what I'm supposed to be doing right now. Shoot the left side of the turret through these counterbalance things. They are not actually modeled to shoot this. Don't shoot this one because it's not as permanent and it's not as easy to pen. If they have themselves like this, you can shoot, yeah, a lot. You can shoot here and here and here if you have sufficient pen. However, don't shoot heat, or try not to shoot heat at anything on the front of this tank because it's all spaced armor. But yeah, that's enough, America. But yeah, that is the T-34-2 in a nutshell. To recap, it's a tank I hate in a line that really doesn't make sense, and it needs rebalancing. A DPM buff. All I'm asking for. And I'll eventually get the 121 researched. I have 2 tanks left in the game to research now. And I'm not looking forward to it. But anyways, I hope you liked this video, and if you did and would like to show that you did, please don't forget to hit the like button. I'm stumbling over my words. I've said this outro 120 times. No, because not all of them have commentary. Whatever. I've said it a lot. But yeah, if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and comment down below. Oh my voice. How much of a scrub I am, and that this tank is super OP, and that it's your favorite tank ever. Goodbye.